Welcome to another crochet tutorial video. In this video I will be teaching how to crochet the cluster stitch, specifically the cluster stitch blanket. For those of you who watched my last video, the Pandora's box tutorial, I apologize for being off schedule. From what I said in that video, the sprained wrist gave me a bit more trouble than I was expecting. So if you stay tuned until the end, after I've completed the tutorial, I'll give you an updated posting schedule that I have planned for the rest of July, which actually isn't much longer, and August. So those of you watching in the future, this is 2018 when I'm posting this, and if it's past August, never mind that part. So let's get on with the actual tutorial. For this blanket that you see here, I use the Sweet Roll yarn by Premier Yarns. It's 100% acrylic. This particular color is called Frosty Swirl, and it's 245 yards or 224 meters, 5 ounces, 140 grams. This 6 on there is because it was left over from this project. I used 5 rolls for this blanket, but had bought 6. And I numbered them because I wanted the colors to match up in a certain sequence. And so I went through them and figured out the best way to get a continuation. So never mind that part. This yarn does have dye lots, so keep that in mind. Although I haven't really seen that big of a difference between dye lots. And there's a little bit of difference here, so that was probably different dye lots, but really it's not as drastic as some yarns that I have seen. So don't worry about it that much. But if you do want to be conscious of dye lot, just to let you know. However, this blanket does not need to be made with this particular yarn. You can use any yarn you want. I was just letting you know the information for this blanket in case you wanted to know. This particular yarn suggests to use a size 5.5 millimeter hook. However, because this hook that I have is very close in color to the blanket, I'm going up half a size to a 6 millimeter so that you can see what I'm doing, just for the sake of the video. So to get started, I'm going to move this blanket out of the way so you can actually see what I'm doing. For your foundation, you're going to start with chaining in multiples of 2 until you get the blanket as long as you want, and then you add 1 extra chain at the end. For this particular sample, I'm only going to chain 24 for my multiple of 2, so it's 12 times 2, and then I'm going to add 1 at the end for a total of 25 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that's my multiples of 2, and then I'm adding 1. And you add that 1 because you're going to do a single crochet in the next chain. So not this one here, but this one here. And this is beginning your second row, or first row of crochet. Some people call it their second. So now you're going to skip 1 chain here, and you're going to chain 1. So you're skipping that one and going into the next one with a single crochet. And chain 1, skip 1 down here, crochet into the next one with a single crochet, and you're going to repeat that all the way across. So chain one, skip one, single crochet. Going to zoom in a little here. Okay, so chain one, you're skipping one, and single crocheting into the next chain. And you're continuing all the way across your foundation row of chains. I'm going to speed up a little so this video isn't an hour long. Okay, when you come to the end, you'll have one extra chain here, so you're going to go ahead and single crochet into that as well. You're not doing a chain one from this stitch to this stitch, you're simply going single crochet, single crochet. So that is your foundation. And now you're going to do your clusters into this. So you're going to start with a chain 4. And then you're going to turn. And then you're going to find your first chain 1 space. So if you kind of pull it apart like that, you can see those chain 1 spaces, those gaps, and that's where you're going to do your cluster stitch. So for those of you who have not done a cluster stitch before, I'm going to do the first few slowly. So you're going to start with the yarn over. You're going to insert your hook into that chain 1 space. You're going to yarn over again. You're going to pull through, and it's going to appear you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over again and only pull through 2 of those. So you have a remaining 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over again and go through that same space, yarn over, pull through, and you have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2. So you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, insert your hook into that chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now you have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, insert your hook into that chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and now you should have 5 loops on your hook. So now you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all those loops. And then to lock this into place, you're going to chain 1. And that is your cluster stitch. So we're going to do cluster stitches in every single chain 1 space. So going slow again, you're yarning over, inserting your hook into that chain 1 space, yarning over and pulling through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert into the chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 of those loops. So you have 3 loops that stay on your hook. Yarn over, insert into your chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through, 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 of those loops, so you have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert into your chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 of those loops, so you have 5 loops on your hook. Now you're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops, and now you're going to close it with a chain 1. So now you have 2 clusters. So we're going to do that again. I'm not going to go quite so slowly. Two loops on your hook. Three. 4. 5. Now I'm going to pull through all 5 and close. So now there's 3. For those of you who want a puffier stitch, so this is puffier here, you can do more than 4 in your cluster. So you, when I say 4, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can do more, you can do less, depending on how thick and bulky you want this to be. It can also depend on what yarn you're using as to how many you do. So let's go ahead and finish across. So that's another one. Okay. So for those of you that need to, you can rewind and watch how to do these again. The rest of you, go ahead and pause and meet me at the end of your first row. Okay, I finished my last cluster, but as you can see, there's an extra stitch here. This was our first single crochet into our chain. So what we're going to do is make a double crochet into that single crochet. Sorry, sometimes it's a bit difficult to get under both of those loops there. There we go. And that completes your second row. That's your first row of clusters. So now we're going to go ahead and start our third row. And this is really the second part of where the pattern starts repeating. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to single crochet into the top of our double crochet there. And then we're going to single crochet into the space between our double crochet and our first cluster. And now we're going to chain 1 and single crochet in the space between the 2 clusters. And you do that all the way across. Chain 1, single crochet in that space, chain 1, single crochet. So you're going to do that all the way across, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so I just did my last chain 1, and now we're going to, there we go, focus. Okay, Now we're going to do our last single crochet into an in-between space there. Now if you recall, this is a chain 4 that we started with. So we're going to single crochet into the third chain up. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that's the end of row 3. We're on row 3 now. Sorry. Okay. Now we're going to chain 4 again. And we're repeating our row 3. So we're turning, and we're going to do our first cluster into this chain 1 space, which will be right on top of this cluster. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now there's 5 loops on the hook. We're pulling through all those, and we're closing with a chain 1. Sorry for the shaking, I hit my tripod. And we're going to do clusters all the way across in these chain 1 spaces, just like we did for this row. So I'll do one more on camera, and then I'll meet you at the end. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through all 5 loops and close. Okay, so I'm going to finish all the way across until we get to the end, and I'll show you how to go up to the next row again. Okay, so I finished my last cluster. So now I'm going to double crochet into this last stitch here that was a single crochet. Sorry, the camera does not like to focus when I do that particular stitch. Okay, so that's the end of that row. And now we're going to repeat our row of single crochets and chains to get across. So we're chaining 1, turning, single crochet into the top of the double crochet, single crochet in the space between, chain 1, and then you're going to single crochet in the space between these, in between each cluster. So you're chain 1, single crochet all the way across, just like we did before. Now this could be however big you want it to be, so make it as wide as you want and as long as you want. I would consider this the ending row. You could add a row of single crochets all the way across if you want. I would do that into this row here, where on your way back you would do a single crochet into the top of a single crochet and into the chain space to make a nice finished edge. Also, you could end just on the clusters. I have seen pictures of these blankets where The clusters were all done in white, and then this row that we're working on now, the single crochet chain ones, was done in color, and each row was a different color, so it was in a rainbow, so red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple type of colors. In that order, you could just do one color. So you have your clusters in white, and then all of these rows in one color. Or you can do other colors. Colors are up to you. Just some ideas. Okay, we're getting to the end here. So we're going to do our single crochet into the space, and then another single crochet into the third chain up. So 1, 2, and 3. And there you have it. So you repeat these 2 rows, your clusters and your single crochet chain row, to make it as long as you want. This is what I consider the back, where it's all bumpy, and then the front I consider where it's kind of caved in, which is considered the front of the stitches. So there we go. That's the end of this tutorial. You can kind of look at that there. And I'll pull out the other blanket while I explain my posting schedule. So for those of you who don't really care, or no longer matters, thanks for watching, and I have other tutorial videos on my channel. Please go check them out. Okay, so first of all, the reason why the videos are delayed, I fell and sprained my wrist. And it was worse than I thought it actually was going to be when it came to crocheting. I didn't realize exactly how much my left hand moved while crocheting. I thought it was more stationary and could handle crocheting. It couldn't. It hurt too much, and having it wrapped actually hurt worse than having it unwrapped. So that's what happened, was I couldn't crochet for about 2 weeks, so my posting schedule got screwed up, basically. So that's why this video is going up 2 weeks late, as I had originally planned to post this video on July 18th. Hopefully, if there aren't any technical difficulties on uploading the video, it should be up on the 25th of July. Okay, and then next Wednesday, as I post my videos about crochet on Wednesdays only, we actually get into August. So August 1st, depending on how my wrist does, because it's still bothering me, I might have the Pandora's Box Part 2 video up, which is the border, the crocodile stitch border. However, I haven't touched that blanket since I finished the tutorial, so I still have a long way to go on that blanket to have it finished to the size I want before I can put the border on it. So if I don't have that done on the 1st of August, I'll have a different tutorial. I plan on doing a corner to corner tutorial. I don't believe I posted that before. I will double check, but if I have, I'll have a different video up. What exactly yet, I don't know, but I will have one up next Wednesday on the 1st of August. And then as soon as I have the Pandora's Box blanket finished, I will have that posted on Wednesday, hopefully the 8th of August at the latest, which is the second Wednesday of August. that is my plan so far. And then I hope to get into hopefully some Christmas themed videos, since you want to have your projects done before December and not just starting in December. If you're giving Christmas themed presents, or you want to make ornaments or things like that, I have a list that I'm going to go through and pick out ones that I want to do tutorials on. So that is my plan for August. The first 2 weeks I will have the second part of the Pandora's box blanket up and another stitch tutorial. Hopefully it'll be corner to corner. I don't believe I've posted that one yet. And then the rest of August, hopefully I'll get into Christmas themed and do that for August and September and possibly into October. I don't know how many Christmas ones I have, so we'll find out together. So thank you for watching all the way to the end if you made it this far, and I hope you have fun crocheting, and I hope this video helped you. So thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye.